This girl named Asumi was just scrolling through social media when she suddenly received a notification that someone named Pumpkin Knight had followed her. She saw the profile picture of Pumpkin Knight and started laughing, saying that it's not even Halloween. Thinking that Pumpkin Knight looked like a cool person, she followed her back. Immediately, she received a message from Pumpkin Knight that said, "Asumi, time to die." When she saw the message, she started freaking out because Pumpkin Knight knows her real name. While she was trying to figure out who this Pumpkin Knight is, someone rang the doorbell. Hearing the doorbell, she got really scared because there's a chance Pumpkin Knight is the one who is on the door. She decided to see from the window before opening the door. When he looked outside, she was relieved to see a person holding a package to deliver. She immediately went out and opened the door. But as the door opened, that delivery man fell on her hands. She got really scared to see that the delivery man's head had a big hole in it. Before she could understand what was going on, she saw Pumpkin Knight standing in front of her holding a big knife. She immediately locked the door and tried to understand what was going on. She was wondering what she should do to survive. Suddenly, she received a call from a guy named Kazuya. She immediately picked up the call and started shouting for help. Kazuya said to her that Naoka has escaped. When Asumi couldn't remember who Naoka was, Kazuya reminded her that Naoka was their classmate during junior high school. Naoka was the one who they used to bully in school, and because of that her mental health worsened and she was admitted to a mental hospital. However, this morning she killed all the nurses and patients and escaped. Right then, Naoka stabbed Asumi from behind. Asumi started crying, asking for forgiveness. She admitted that she was wrong and said sorry. But Naoka has no intention of forgiving anyone. She used the scoop spoon that was attached to her knife and scooped Asumi's eyes like ice cream. Because Kazuya is still on call, he was hearing Asumi scream and was asking her what is going on. But Asumi was in no shape to answer and ran outside the house. Behind her, Naoka was slowly chasing her holding her phone. As Asumi can't see because of her eyes being scooped out, she accidentally walked into a road and a fast-moving truck crushed her. Kazuya was still on the phone and asking Asumi about what was going on. But as Naoka is the one who's holding her phone, she told Kazuya the Asumi is no more. Naoka cuts the call warning Kazuya that he's next. Next day, Asumi's funeral was held and many students joined it. Kazuya and his friends, who are also a target for Naoka, also joined the funeral. The big guy's name is Arita, and the girl's name is Saki. Arita assumes that Kazuya still hasn't spoken to the police even though he was the one who last talked to Asumi before she died. Right then, a guy named Naruto arrived there and said that they shouldn't tell the cops. Because if they tell the cops, police will also suspect them and investigate them. After junior high school, it's their first time getting together like this. Many news reporters arrived outside the mental hospital from where Naoka had run away. They report that more than 20 people have been killed by the suspect A, who is Naoka. On the other hand, Naoka is dancing happily while watching the news. In the meantime, Kazuya and the others were together. They are still not feeling guilty. They said that a person who has an appearance like Naoka is naturally going to get bullied. Saki raises a concern asking if the person who killed Asumi is really Naoka. She asked if anybody has been in contact with her. Kazuya said that he's not completely sure, but last night when Kazuya talked to him from Asumi's phone, he heard her voice. He said that she has the same childlike voice as she had during junior high school. Kazuya reminds that Naoka was a type of girl who always babbled about something. She was a self-centered egoist who thinks nothing of people. So, Kazuya concludes that the person who killed Asumi is indeed Naoka. Hearing his story, Naruto said that if Naoka still has Asumi's mobile phone, they can track her using GPS. He said that they'll catch Naoka before police does, and then kill her and make it look like a suicide. Hearing that, a shocked Saki accidentally shouted their plan in a loud voice. Naruto immediately asked her to keep her voice down. Because if someone hears them, they'll be in danger. Unfortunately for them, an old man heard what Saki said about killing someone. So to save themselves, she started talking about killing a game character. This made the old man think that they're just joking and left thinking how they can joke at the funeral of their classmate. After the old man left, Saki asked Naruto if they really had to kill Naoka. Naruto explained that if the police caught her, they'll just treat her as a mental patient and will just put her in a mental hospital as an innocent sick child. So, if they want to completely remove the threat, they have to kill Naoka. In the end, they all decided to kill Naoka except Kazuya. He remembered how he wasn't able to save Naoka during junior high school, and now it's the same. His friends are planning to kill her, but he can't do anything to stop them. Then, Naruto asked Kazuya to give him his phone because he and Asumi were mailing each other. Using that, they'll track Naoka and catch her if she's still holding Asumi's phone. When Kazuya unlocked his phone to give it to Naruto, he saw that Pumpkin Knight had sent him a message. Seeing that, Saki revealed that a guy named Pumpkin Knight has also followed her. Arata and Naruto also revealed that Pumpkin Knight has also followed them. Seeing the situation, Saki assumes that Pumpkin Knight is Naoka, because the thing that made her go crazy was a Halloween pumpkin. She started freaking out saying that they will have to pay for what they did to Naoka and ran away alone. When Kazuya tried to stop her, Naruto said that they should just let her run alone and use her as bait to catch Naoka. So, they run after Saki to find her and use her to catch Naoka. In the meantime, Saki was sitting on the stairs crying that she didn't want to die. Right then, an old man standing behind her asked her why she's saying something like "don't want to die." This is the same old man who almost caught them making a plan to kill Naoka. When she was about to leave, the old man stopped and said that he heard what they said was familiar with the deceased Asumi from junior high. He asked her to tell him if she knew something about Asumi's death. He revealed that there are suspicions that Asumi's death was not an accident but a murder. Hearing that when Saki turned back to ask the old man to go away, she saw that the old man had already been stabbed in the head. The Pumpkin Knight is here to get her revenge. Without wasting a moment, Naoka took out the knife from the old man's head and hit the other side of the knife on Naoki's nose. Saki started crying with pain after just getting hit once. Naoka asked her to stop crying because there's plenty more to come. With that, she proceeds to hit on Saki's nose again and again. Meanwhile, Naruto is trying to find Saki. While he was finding her, a girl named Nozomu arrived there. This girl is here to make a move on Naruto and smash him. But suddenly, someone started the fire alarm which caused panic in the funeral hall and everybody had to get out. It was Naoka who started the fire alarm, and now she's alone inside the funeral hall. She has trapped Saki inside a bag and is taking her somewhere. After some walking, she reached Asumi's coffin. She stood in front of her coffin and said, "Don't worry, your friend will suffer a similar fate soon enough." Meanwhile, people have finally realized that no fire has broken out and assumed that someone has pulled the alarm as a prank. Kazuya and his group, who were trying to find Saki, weren't able to find her. In the end, it's now finally time to take the coffin and cremate Asumi. There, Kazuya overheard two girls talking how Asumi's body is messed up and she'll be cremated without anyone seeing her face. Right then, Kazuya spotted Naoka standing on the rooftop of the funeral hall. When Kazuya saw her waving her hand, he realized that Saki was inside the coffin with Asumi, and Naoka was waving her hand to say goodbye to Saki. Now, Kazuya has told Naruto and Arata that Saki is inside the coffin. They ran away to get to Saki before Naoka. Naoka was still standing on the rooftop seeing them running behind Saki. She said to Kazuya to run away as much as possible, but there'll be no forgiveness. Before Kazuya and his group even left the funeral hall, they spotted the dead old man hanging from the rooftop. The man's body is completely messed up, like stomach is torn open, and body is stabbed with many knives and scissors. Kazuya quickly calmed himself and said to Arata and Naruto that they had no time to waste. They immediately booked a taxi and went behind Saki, who was trapped in a coffin. Right then, Naoka appeared right beside their taxi with a big metal pipe. She smashed the taxi's front window with the pipe, killing the driver in the process. Because of the accident, Kazuya and his group also got injured. With that, Naoka left without wasting a moment. On the other hand, Saki has finally woke up inside the coffin. She can't move her body to make noise because she is completely tied up. The coffin has reached the crematory, so Saki has to do something fast if she wants to survive. At this point, Saki didn't know that she's locked inside a coffin. She finally realized where she was when she saw dead Asumi under her. Outside the crematory, Naoka is sitting looking at his phone waiting for something to happen. People are slowly dragging the coffin toward the furnace, while Saki is crying thinking that she doesn't want to get burned. She was trying to ask them to stop, but she couldn't say anything because her mouth was tied up. With that, they put the coffin inside the furnace and started the fire. Saki started burning alive in the fire. When Naoka saw smoke coming out from the crematory, she started dancing because Saki is burning inside the coffin. While she was celebrating, two police women stopped her celebration and asked her to remove her pumpkin because they wanted to see her face. But Naoka had different intentions. She stabbed the first one with a big knife and shoved a big metal pipe inside the second lady. On the other hand, Saki is still burning up. Her scream was finally heard by people when the tape around her mouth burned up and she got free. When people heard that there's someone alive inside, they immediately stopped the flames and brought out the coffin. When the lid was open, Saki was completely burned up, but she was still alive, enduring immense pain. Her body was messed up and she was rushed to the hospital. Kazuya and his group were also in the hospital because they also got injured when Naoka crashed their taxi. When Kazuya saw Saki completely burned up, he finally decided to tell the cops because Naoka is getting out of hand. Arata and Naruto also understand that Naoka is even killing innocent people and decided to do as Kazuya said. Meanwhile, doctors are checking Saki's condition. Suddenly, she started freaking out. The doctor thought that she's in shock because she went through a very painful experience, but she is panicking because Naoka is here. When doctors finally spotted Naoka, she didn't stop. She immediately started killing all the doctors. She stabbed one with a knife, and brutally killed others using the tools that were there for performing operations. Now it's Saki's turn. To kill her, Naoka gave her a high-voltage shock. Because of which, the power of the whole hospital was cut off for a moment. When Kazuya saw the power suddenly getting cut off in the hospital, he immediately rushed to check on Saki. When he reached the operation room, he saw that Saki is still alive but her face has cut all over it and it's completely messed up. It turns out that the one lying on the bed isn't Saki but Naoka. This is Naoka's real face. But Kazuya and the group still thinks that this is Saki and just put bandages around her face. Saki's parents were abroad, that's why they'll come tomorrow. Arata said that all the nurses and doctors died but Saki survived because they came before Naoka was about to give the final blow. Hearing that, Naruto told them that Naoka has left Saki alive on purpose. He said that she has no intention of killing, she's just playing with them to torment them. Arata refuses to believe that because Asumi died by Naoka's hands. Then Naruto reminds him that Asumi died because a truck crashed here. There's a chance that Naoka didn't intend to kill her like that. After telling his thoughts, Naruto said that they'll not tell the cops and deal with Naoka themselves. Because she will not kill them immediately, their chances of catching her are high. While they are talking about killing Naoka, she is hearing everything lying on the bed. When Naoka saw Kazuya looking sad, she thought to herself, asking Kazuya to not make such a gloomy face as she'll end all this soon. At the police station, police officers found a pumpkin that was under the operating table. They also found schoolgirls' uniforms at the same place. Head police officer analyzes everything that had happened until now and concludes that all the deaths and this pumpkin are connected. He asked the cops to give him the names of the friends of the victim who is in the hospital. Cops gave him the list of 3 friends. When the head officer saw Kazuya's picture, he said that Kazuya is the one who'll most likely confess. On the other hand, a nurse came running to the doctor and told him that including the doctors and nurses from the ICU, there should be 8 bodies carried to the morgue. But there are 9 bodies instead of 8. And the extra body is of a woman who has severe burn marks and also electrocuted. Meanwhile, Kazuya is sitting near the bed where Naoka is lying instead of Saki. Seeing how Naoka is sitting beside her, it reminds Naoka of her old days. Naoka thought that after she got rid of Saki, she hurt herself enough so no one could recognize her and lay on the bed in Saki's stead. While injuring herself, she didn't feel pain because she's used to it. Right then, Naoka got up and was about to strangle Kazuya as he's sitting here all alone. But before she did that, Kazuya called her name even though he's sleeping. Back in junior high school, Naoka and Kazuya used to be really good friends. You can say they were girlfriend and boyfriend. Now, Naoka was chosen to become a Halloween queen. Naoka knows that she got chosen to become a queen because someone has prepared a trap for her. But Kazuya said that this is not a trap and asked her to be confident. Immediately when Kazuya said that, she got really happy and said that she'll definitely become the Halloween queen. But when she became queen, her face completely burned because of some trap. Suddenly, Kazuya woke up and he was seeing these old things in his dream. He thought that nothing would have happened if he only had tried to stop students from bullying Naoka. After that, he left the room. While walking in the hallway, he was thinking that he wanted to apologize to Naoka. He wanted to calm down her anger, but he couldn't do anything. Right then, someone appeared in front of him wearing a pumpkin head. The imposter didn't say anything to him and just ran away. Kazuya followed her thinking that she is Naoka, and she led him to a corner. When Kazuya caught up to her, he saw a head police officer and Naoka standing behind him. It turns out that the head police officer used Naoka's pumpkin to lure Kazuya and asked him some questions. Without wasting a moment in useless questions, the police officer asked him to tell them about the story of Naoka and what they did to her to make her angry. While they were talking, Saki's parents finally arrived at the hospital. When they saw their daughter, they freaked out and asked doctors about what happened to her. On the other hand, police officer is showing Kazuya the pictures of everyone who got killed by Naoka's hand. When Kazuya was looking at the pictures, he spotted Saki's photo. Seeing that, he immediately realized that the one who is lying on the bed is not Saki but Naoko. Meanwhile, Naoko got up and stabbed Saki's mother with an injection. After that, Naoko threw many more injections at Saki's dad. Finally, Saki's mother realized that the girl in front of them is not Saki but Naoko. She immediately called Naoko a monster and said that her daughter used to tell her that there's a girl in her class who is a complete weirdo. The mother said that Naoko's face got burned because she was a monster. Hearing all that blabbering, Naoko got really angry and started stabbing Saki's mother with multiple injections again and again. Meanwhile, Kazuya finally revealed the story of how Naoko's face got burned. He said that when Naoko was chosen as the Pumpkin Queen, a pumpkin head was put on her face as a reward. There were firecrackers inside the pumpkin head. Kazuya said that Naoko was an oddball and was bullied because of it. The bullies put the firecrackers inside the pumpkin head on purpose to make fun of her. She was supposed to be humiliated in front of the whole school. However, the firecrackers went up in flames, Naoko's hairspray caught fire and the pumpkin itself started to burn. As the fire couldn't be seen outside the pumpkin, everyone just laughed and watched as Naoko rolled on the floor. After hearing the story, the police officer decided to stop Naoko and asked Kazuya and the cop girl to stay on guard. When the lift doors opened and they were about to leave, many people ran inside the lift in panic. It turns out the fire has broken and everyone is running to save their life. In the crowd, Kazuya also spotted Naoko. When the police officer and the girl were finally able to leave the lift, he spotted Naoko inside the lift, but it was too late as the lift doors closed right then. Suddenly, a nurse screamed behind them. The police officer immediately ran to them and asked them what was going on. When the police officer and the girl entered the ICU, they both got scared to see the state in which Saki's parents are. Like both of their heads are gone, the husband's stomach is cut open and intestines not to different places. In the end, both husband and wife's head are placed inside the husband's stomach. Meanwhile, Naoko was talking Kazuya. She said that she took Saki's place in the ICU because she knew that Kazuya will be there. When she was about to leave, Kazuya wondered why she's not killing him. So Naoko answered his question. She said that she's not killing him for now because she is saving him for the last. Before she walked away, Kazuya stopped her and asked her why she is going this far. He said that they just did a prank on her. Hearing that, Naoko revealed that it wasn't a prank but a trap specially for her. She explained everything that happened that day. It isn't fully revealed to the readers what happened to Naoko that day. When Kazuya heard the story, he asked her why she never told him about it. He said that her story is totally different from what he heard. He asked her why she didn't tell anyone about this. So, Naoko revealed that she told many adults but everyone turned a blind eye. That's why she decided to fight on her own. With that, she leaves the place after giving a flying kiss to Kazuya. Right after she left, the police officer arrived there and asked Kazuya about where Naoko went. Kazuya said that she's not here anymore. After that, Kazuya explained everything to Eret and Naruto. They started panicking after realizing that Naoko had heard their whole conversation where they were planning on killing her. But Kazuya didn't care about that. He just wanted to know who was the one who set up the trap and burned Naoko's face. After a while, when Naruto was sitting alone, Nozomu arrived there and said that she has the pumpkin mask. When Naruto asked her how she knew about that pumpkin, she answered that during junior high school, she was the one in charge of the Halloween party. While preparing for the party, she saw Naruto doing something with the pumpkin. And during the party when Naoko's face was burned after wearing the pumpkin, she saw Naruto and Arata laughing out loud. Seeing them enjoying the scene, she realized that Naruto is the one behind and she also took the pumpkin back home with her. Now, if Naruto doesn't want her to reveal everything, he has to satisfy her. But when the fun was just about to begin, Naoko arrived there and popped Nozomu's balloon with a fishing rod. Now that Naoko knows that Naruto is the one who is behind everything, Naoko is here to punish him. Seeing her angry, Naruto started shouting that it was just a prank and asked her to calm down. But Naoko isn't here to listen to him blabbering. First, she cut Naruto's hand and divided it into two, and then she smashed his head with a concrete brick and made him unconscious. With that, Naruto kidnapped both Nozomu and Naruto. Now, Naoko has tied both of them up in such a way that if Nozomu tried to move or free herself, the string around the Naruto's neck will tighten up and cut it down. Naruto also spotted another pulley and wondered what that is for. Then, she brought out her mobile and started live streaming. In the meantime, Arata and Kazuya were eating in a restaurant waiting for Naruto. Right then, Kazuya found out that Naruto has been caught by Naoko and is live on YouTube. Meanwhile, when Nozomu tried to go near Naruto, the string around Naruto's neck slowly tightened up, making him feel immense pain and blocking his breathing. So, to keep Nozomu away, he started kicking her in the face, asking her to back away. When the live stream gained enough viewers, Naoko came to Naruto and asked him to confess everything. In the end, Naruto had no choice but to confess everything on the live stream. He revealed that he put the sulfuric acid in the mask. He took the sulfuric acid from the science prep room and he filled polythene bags with it. Then he taped them inside the mask. That way the bags would pop with the slightest touch. Then when Naoko wore the pumpkin head, the acid completely melted her face. He did all this just because he didn't like Naoko's face. Everyone who watched the live stream got really angry and said that they should report to the police. Kazuya also got and grabbed Arata from the collar. He asked him about the reason why they did such a thing to Naoko. Arata revealed that there wasn't any reason, they just did it because it was fun. After confessing everything, Naruto asked her to let her go. But Naoko had no intention of letting him go. So Naruto tries to waste her time while slowly loosening his rope to break free. Suddenly, Naoko pierced Nizumo's head with the knife and killed her. Then, Naoko picked up another string and attacked it to the door by passing it through the second pulley. Now if anyone comes to save Naruto and opens the door, he will die. Immediately, Naruto started asking for forgiveness, saying that he knew what he did was terrible. But Naoko has no intention of doing that because when they were bullying her, she also screamed and asked for forgiveness, but they never stopped. Saki, Asumi, Arata, and Naruto, all four of them bullied her non-stop. Only Kazuya was the one who at least didn't take part in bullying her. Right then, Naruto was finally able to free himself and without wasting a moment, he attacked the string that was around his neck to Naoko's hand. Suddenly, Arata and Kazuya arrived there and opened the door. And when the door opened, Naoko's hand popped like a balloon. Arata also didn't waste a moment and started beating Naoko immediately. While he was doing that, Kazuya was just standing and watching like he did when Naoko was getting bullied during her days in junior high. Suddenly, Kazuya finally built up the courage and kicked Kazuya from behind. After saving her, Kazuya hugged her and confessed his love to her. But while they were hugging each other, Arata and Naruto hit both of them from behind and knocked them out. Immediately after that, all the videos of Naruto confessing his crime were deleted from the internet. Also, the police was ordered to stop the investigation. It turns out that Naruto's dad is mayor and is a very influential person who can do anything. At the time when Naoko got burned, he was the one who forced everyone to change their testimonies to save Naruto. Now, Naruto and Arata are sitting in a van with Naruto's dad while they have tied up unconscious Kazuya and Naoko and put them in the back seat of the van. After a while, they reached a construction site. They are here to bury both Kazuya and Naoko. Inside the construction site, there's a big hole. First, they drop dead Nozomu in the hole, and after that, they drop Kazuya and Pumpkin Knight in the hole. Luckily, Kazuya fell on the dead body of Nozomu because of which he survived. But Naoko wasn't that lucky. Many metal rods pierced her and killed her. Seeing her like this, Kazuya started crying. Right then, a girl climbed down the hole holding the pumpkin head of Naoko. This is the same policewoman who was working on Naoko's case. When Kazuya was going back to the town with the policewoman, he finally snapped. He decided to become Pumpkin Knight himself and kill Naruto, Arata, and the mayor, Naruto's father. As Halloween is coming closer, many people are setting up pumpkins and purchasing them. When Arata saw pumpkins everywhere on the streets, he was getting scared thinking of Naoko. He got so scared that he even accidentally punched a lady holding a pumpkin. Immediately he ran away and went to Naruto. He told Naruto that he can't stop thinking about Naoko. And Naruto also realized that Arata's mental health is getting worse and worse as Halloween is coming closer. When Arata started saying things like Naoko will come back and kill them, Naruto kicked him out. Now while Arata was in a lift, Pumpkin Knight appeared on top of him. Suddenly, a thread appeared in front of Arata, and when he touched the string, it immediately started strangling his neck. He struggled really hard, but it was no use. And when he looked up, he was shocked to see Pumpkin Knight is back. Right then, the lift door opened because someone pressed the button from outside. Arata immediately started asking for help from the person who opened the door. But it turns out that it's the same lady whom Arata punched today in the market, so she took her baby and ran away without wasting a moment. With that, the door closed and Arata was still struggling for his life. Suddenly, Arata grabbed Kazuya's hand and dragged him down, also freeing himself in the process. When he grabbed the arm, he immediately realized that the person was not Naoko, and from the voice, he realized that it's Kazuya imitating Pumpkin Knight. Then, Arata was about to smash Kasuya's pumpkin head, but Kazuya took out some knife and inflicted deep wounds on Arata's leg. Without wasting a moment, he kicked Arata's wounded leg again and again. Seeing how he's getting brutally beaten, Arata realized that the one standing in front of him is not Kazuya, but the demon pumpkin knight who has crawled out from the hell. Kazuya didn't waste a moment. He grabbed his knives again and started making holes on Arata's back. Suddenly, Kazuya accidentally tripped on the blood that was on the ground and lost his balance. Arata took the opportunity and pushed him outside the lift. Then, he immediately closed the door and went to the higher floors. After reaching the destination, he slowly dragged his injured body toward Naruto's room. But he has to hurry up as Kazuya is climbing the stairs at full speed. Arata started banging Naruto's room's ring bell non-stop, calling him. At that moment, Kazuya also reached the floor and ran toward Arata. When he was about to land an attack, Naruto opened the door and pushed him inside. Kazuya didn't stop even after the door closed. He used his small knives to slash the door again and again. After some time, when he finally stopped, Naruto and Arata were able to take the breath of relief. While lying injured on the bed, Arata explained everything to Naruto. He explained how the one who was behind was not Naoko but Kazuya. He called Kazuya the one possessed by the Pumpkin Knight's demon. After telling the whole story, Arata advised him that they should tell the cops now. Hearing that, Naruto put a pillow on Arata's head, blocking his breathing. He killed Arata and said that he himself will take care of Kazuya. Meanwhile, Kazuya is sitting in front of Naoko's grave. He put the pumpkin head and small flower on the grave and said, "Only 2 more to go." Behind him, the policewoman was also standing. She is working with Kazuya because she wants to get revenge from Naruto's father. Naruto's father once framed her dad and killed him, so that's why she's helping Kazuya in order to achieve her own revenge by killing Naruto's dad. Right then when she checked her phone, she saw that Naruto's father was heading toward his son's apartment. Hearing that, Kazuya laughed maniacally and put on a completely different pumpkin head. He immediately left with the policewoman to kill Naruto and his dad. On the other hand, Naruto has also gone mad. He has cut down Arata's body into pieces and packed it inside 3 different bags. Seeing the scene, Naruto's dad started to realize that his son is also slowly going mad. After that, they left the room to throw those bags filled with Arata's remains at a secret place. On their way, they spotted Kazuya standing on the bridge. He was already there waiting for them, and when he saw them, he threw a cylinder at them and said, "Trick or treat." That cylinder hit the van, causing it to crash. Both the policewoman and Kazuya ran toward the van holding knives. But when they reached near it, some gangsters came out of the car. 3 people went toward Kazuya to catch him, but Kazuya had bug spray. He sprayed it on 3 of them after mixing it with the fire. This attack injured all 3 of them severely. But Kazuya didn't stop there. He used the same attack on 3 of them again and again in order to kill them painfully. On the other hand, the policewoman wasn't weak. She easily defeated the 3 gangsters who tried to catch her. Now only Naruto and his dad's left. When the policewoman ran toward the car, Naruto's dad immediately drove the van backward and hit the policewoman. This injured her to the point where she was unable to move. Without wasting a moment, Naruto's dad drove the van towards Kazuya. But Kazuya didn't get scared. He jumped up, lit the lighter and threw it inside the van. As Kazuya threw a cylinder inside the van before, now when he threw the lighter inside, it caused the cylinder to explode. In this explosion, Naruto's dad was burned to death, but Naruto was able to escape with some injuries. Now it's Naruto's turn to receive his final punishment. Naruto got up and slowly ran toward the city. Behind him, Kazuya was slowly chasing him. While running, Naruto spotted 2 people on the motorbike. He immediately stopped them and asked them for help. He told them that a killer is chasing him. After hearing Naruto, instead of helping, they started laughing at him. They just said Happy Halloween and left without doing anything. They just thought that Naruto and Kazuya were just cosplaying for Halloween. After some more running, Naruto reached the city. He told everyone that he's getting chased by a killer, but no one helped and just laughed while saying Happy Halloween. While running through the laughing crowd, Naruto realized that everything that is happening to him is the same that he did to Naoko. After some running, he accidentally entered a dark alley and encountered a dead end. As there's no choice left, he immediately kneeled down and started begging for forgiveness. Hearing his sorry, Kazuya asked him to stop and said that they are just doing this for fun. Fun. This is the same reason for which Naruto and his group bullied Naoko. Everything that Kazuya did to Naruto or Arata, he did it just for fun like they did to Naoko. Saying that, he smashed the handle of his knife on Naruto's head and injured it. Then he used the knife and forcefully peeled out some of Naruto's skin from his head. He peeled the skin and skull so deeply that the brain was visible from the outside. With that, he took out a bottle of sulfuric acid and started pouring it in his brain. Because of which, Naruto's whole face and brain slowly melt down. In the end, Naruto died the most painful death. After that, Kazuya cut down Naruto's head and started dancing on a building's rooftop. Everyone who saw him dancing called him a demon. Next day, we see that Kazuya has been admitted into a mental hospital. He has completely lost his mind and gone mad. Meanwhile, at Naoko's grave everything was normal, but suddenly, a hand came out from the grave and Naoko said, "Nothing can save you bullies now." This old man sitting with a lady was looking at his phone. He showed a picture of his grandchild to the lady and told her that his grandchild is coming to visit him with his parents. They talked with each other about modern society, saying that it is really easy to communicate with someone who is living overseas using new technologies and stuff. After some talking, the lady congratulated the old man for getting discharged from the hospital. Right at that moment, the lady's head was blown up, her eyes and brain matter scattered everywhere. She died instantly without even knowing the cause of her death. Old man and the driver got really scared, so they decided to immediately call the police. When the old man looked behind through the broken window, he saw a girl wearing a pumpkin head, holding a shotgun, riding in a motorbike coming toward him. Naoko loaded the gun and started shooting at the car. Old man immediately lay down to save himself. Unfortunately, a guy, who was sitting beside the driver's seat, got hit by a bullet which blew half of his face into bits. He also died on the spot. Because of the sudden attack, the driver wasn't able to control the car. The car randomly moved to the other side of the road where construction work was going on. A machinery that was drilling the road cut the car into 2 pieces, and the driver also got cut into 2. Like this, 3 people died a horrifying death, only an old man is left now. Old man asked for the reason for killing these people from Naoko. Before saying anything, she first loaded her gun, which scared the old man even more. Old man immediately started begging for his life. Hearing his pleading, Naoko brought out a phone and showed the old man a picture. She said that this woman and her kid wanted to talk to him, that's why Naoko needed to kill him. Before killing him, she said to the old man that she wanted to ask him some questions. She asks him questions about some accidents. She asked him how fast he was driving when that accident happened. She asked him how come he didn't help the victims after the accidents. She asked him why he didn't call his subordinates to call 911. Finally, she asked him why hasn't the story of those accidents shown on the news. After she finished asking these questions, she reminds the old man that he didn't even get arrested for that accident. An accident that serious should have gotten him locked up without questions. Naoko asked him how the hell did he manage to get away. She told him that his subordinates are pretty occupied, they're already dead, so she asked the old man to not ask them and answer himself. After all, since he's the one who did it, he should be the one to explain. But Naoko thought that she would not be able to believe a single word this old man would say, so she decided to kill him. At that moment, from the hand of the gun, some spikes came out. Seeing those spikes, the old man started crying, saying that he'll turn himself in if she lets him live. But Naoko didn't listen. She hit the old in the face with the hand filled with spikes. After getting pierced with a spike, when Naoko took away the gun, a pool of blood started pouring from the old man's face. After a while, news about a pumpkin head killing someone appeared on the TVs. People weren't even shocked at this point because this is already the 5th case. Another reason why the people aren't caring about these murders is that everyone that died by the hands of that pumpkin head were the ones who committed some crimes, but never got charged for them. On the other hand, the head police officer was digging out a grave. This is the place where Naoko was buried. The policeman is here to confirm if Naoko is dead or not. Old man learned about this location after questioning Kazuya and that police lady who worked with Kazuya to kill Naruto and his dad. He knows that this is where they buried Naoko, now he's just hoping for her to be dead. While digging, he said that there are people who think Naoko is a hero, but he will never see a killer as a hero no matter what. In the end, after digging for a while, he confirms that Naoko is alive. While he was really tired and gasping for air, there was someone on the tree behind him, seeing everything. The person said with a smile, "Trick or treat." The next moment, the person appeared behind the policeman, which shocked him. Because this person is Naoko and she has a completely fine face with not a single scar. Without doing anything, Naoko ran away from there. The policeman ran behind her asking to stop, but she didn't listen. The policeman is really shocked and wonders why Naoko's face doesn't have a single scar on her face. The policeman thought that this whole case was full of mysteries. It's been a year since it started and he still doesn't have any answers. He questioned who Naoko really is. While running, he accidentally tripped and hurt his ankle. But he didn't stop, he slowly moved forward in order to find Naoko. After some walking, he found a mansion in the middle of the forest. He can't jump inside the mansion because there's a dog inside. Inside the mansion, Naoko was standing near the window looking at the policeman standing outside. She wonders who that man is. She asked why she felt like she knew that policeman. Thinking about that policeman, her head started hurting. She can't remember anyone from before. At that moment, a man walked inside the room and called Naoko's name. This man is a doctor and asked Naoko to not push herself. He told her that she'll gradually remember things over time. When Naoko saw him, she was really happy. Doctor went toward the window and noticed that there was someone outside. Naoko told him that the dog chased him away. Doctor asked her if she went outside again. Naoko didn't answer and just smiled, which means yes. Suddenly, the doctor put his hands on Naoko's shoulder and said to her that he knows she wants her memory back. That's why she goes outside from time to time. The doctor told her that she can't put herself in danger like that. Doctor said to her that he'll not be able to live without her. Hearing that, Naoko answered that she understands and will not go into the forest alone anymore. At that moment, the doctor noticed something on her. The doctor noticed a mark on her face and thought that it's cyanosis. He called it another failure. He thought that it doesn't stick very, so he'll need to do another surgery. Noticing that the doctor is worried about her face, Naoko smiled and told him that he doesn't have to worry about her face, she's super lucky just to be alive. Hearing that, the doctor hugged her and remembered the time when he found Naoko. When he found her, she was really injured crawling on the ground. At that moment, the doctor took Naoko home and treated her. He thanks God for letting him help Naoko. But when he looked at the pumpkin head and many different weapons on the wall, he thought that maybe it was the devil who let him help Naoko, not God. Meanwhile, the policeman has found the details of the person who lives inside that mansion. The person is Ryuichi, 58 years old, graduated from the Imperial University School of Medicine, and he's a doctor. On the other hand, we see a guy throwing money everywhere. While he's throwing the money, his underlings are picking up the money from the ground. At this point, he's so happy that he thinks that he can take over the world if he wanted to. A guy asked him why he's so happy. So, he told him that he never thought he could make so much money with just a phone call. Suddenly, their celebration stopped when someone started banging on their door. They thought that the police were here. Boss immediately started panicking, saying that if the higher-ups find out about their little side business, they all will die. Seeing the boss panicking, a guy told everyone to hold their weapons and stand in front of the door. He said that they'll cause confusion, and in the confusion, the boss will run away. Boss also cheered them to hold the front while he planned to run away. While he was shouting, someone stabbed him in the back from the behind and cut it like a cake. The Pumpkin Knight is here to purge the evil. Now Pumpkin is already famous, so they immediately realize why she's here. Seeing her, the secondary boss ordered all the men to hold their weapons and attack her. He thought that it's just a high school girl, she's not their match. At the same time, all the men ran to attack her. First, Naoko dodged these two men's attacks, and immediately slit the throat of one of them, and cut the stomach of one of them. From the stomach, his intestine poured out everywhere. Like this, both of them died painfully. After that, one more guy came to attack her, she easily dodged his attack and his head like a cake. Seeing the horrifying scene, all the men got really scared, thinking how a high school girl is taking down a yakuza. They realize that she's totally a prop killer, so everyone starts running away. Secondary boss begged them to come back, but they didn't listen, saying that only an idiot will fight a demon like her. When these men opened the door to go out, someone else was already waiting for them. This guy is wearing a unicorn mask with the word bleach written on it. He loaded his shotgun, saying that it's time to clean up some trash. Immediately, he shot everyone in the stomach and killed them on the spot. The secondary boss got really scared seeing another guy and thought that this person must be the one pressing the intercom. At that moment, Naoko grabbed him from the head and said that he's right. While crying, he asked Naoko why they're doing this. He asked why they're specially targeting them and not any other gang. Naoki answered that there's some people who want to see him. She showed him a photo of an old couple. She reminds him that he was the one who stole this couple's retirement saving and drove them to suicide. Now then, Naoko decided to ask him a question like she asked the old man before. Before asking, she said that there's a whole mountain of victims like this couple. She asked him why he did that. What did he need all the money for? Naoko loudly guessed that he's going to quit scamming people from now on. He started crying, shouting that he'll quit everything from now on and asked Naoko to forgive her. He held her leg and asked her to not kill her. But Naoko didn't listen. She started kicking the guy in the face with no sign of stopping. Doctor, who was wearing a unicorn mask, saw the scene and thought that she's really amazing. He thought that released from an innocent soul, Naoko is a being of pure violence. In the end, Naoko cut down the head of the guy and killed him. Doctor called Naoko pure and thought that if she ruled the world, it'd also become just as pure. 1 year ago, Ryuichi found Naoko in the forest in almost dead state. She had multiple puncture wounds and was losing a lot of blood between all of the bruises, bone fractures, and ruptured organs. She was a huge mess. And yet, she was somehow still alive. Even after being buried in a state of suspended animation, her strong will to live allowed her to escape. Looking back, it was at that moment Ryuichi was first drawn to Naoko. He took her to the lab inside the mansion and thought that he had been exiled from the medical world, but he was able to build his own intensive care unit in secret. It was made under the cover of darkness and illegal surgeries, but his operating room was much better than the ones at the local hospitals. When Ryuichi was about to start the treatment, Naoko asked him who he was. Hearing that, Ryuichi got really shocked. He can't believe that Naoko is still conscious. So, Ryuichi asked her not to worry because he's a doctor. Answering that, the doctor asked her who she was. She answered that she's the Pumpkin Knight. With that, the doctor started the surgery and it took him 10 hours to complete it. He had to use all the blood bags he'd saved up along with his most expensive drugs. But it was all worth it. Because he had a feeling that this girl would help him make his dreams come true. He had a feeling and it was right. In the present, Naoko showed the half head of the guy to Ryuichi and told her that she did it. Ryuichi praised her and thought that with her great physical abilities, violent aggression, and no conscience, she can do it. Ryuichi thought that she'll be able to help him purify this rotten world. He is also happy that Naoko lost some of her memories, which made it easier for him to order her. On the other hand, Kazuya was in the mental hospital. He was sitting in the corner like a dead person. Doctor told the policeman that he's been like this for the past year. The doctor said that Kazuya keeps staring at the wall. He shuts himself in his room and won't talk to anyone. He doesn't react to anything either. He does sometimes engage in self-harm, but the medicine helps him calm. In the end, the doctor told the policeman that he won't be able to interrogate Kazuya. But the policeman didn't listen and went toward Kazuya to talk to him. When the policeman talked to him, as the doctor said, Kazuya didn't show any reaction. But the policeman was already expecting and had something up his sleeve. He whispers in Kazuya's ear, "Naoko is still alive." Hearing that, Kazuya showed a reaction and looked toward the policeman. Kazuya started crying, asking if Naoko is really alive. The policeman smiled and answered with yes. He told Kazuya that it feels like no one can kill her. As Kazuya started crying even harder, the policeman told him that it's not the time to cry. He said that in order to help Naoko, they had to stop the Pumpkin Knight. Saying that, he talked to the staff, asking them to call whoever is in charge of this hospital. While the staff was confused about what was going on, a lady hiding behind a wall messaged someone that Kazuya had awakened. At the same time, the doctor, who healed Naoko, was checking her face. He noticed that Naoko's face was slowly disintegrating. Her face is slowly returning back to being fully destroyed. The doctor thought that all of the subcutaneous tissue that melted had hardened and become like a wall, causing necrosis in the new skin grafts. As he thought that it's impossible to recreate, he wondered if that's the only way. Outside the mansion, Naoko was standing. She has a mask on her face and she said that the doctor keeps sulking in his room since the operation was a bust, but Naoko couldn't care less. She ran in the forest saying that the doctors are usually busy, so it makes sense that he's frustrated. But Naoko is worried about him. She said that they can't give up yet, they have to be strong. And she still likes him. As she said that, she tries to remember the person she likes, but she can't do it. She remembers that there's someone who accepts her for who she was. That's why she couldn't care how she looks. But she still can't remember the person who likes her. As she slowly walked toward the middle of the forest, she saw the policeman sitting there. Seeing her, the policeman immediately got up and said that he was waiting for her. The policeman also noticed that Naoko's face had changed back again. He guessed that the other one was just temporary. He asked her if Dr. Higo was not able to fix it. Right then, Naoko grabbed 2 big needles in her hands and started attacking the policeman. He constantly asked her to stop, but she didn't listen. Suddenly, his foot tripped and he fell to the ground. Taking the chance, Naoko was about to attack the policeman's eyes. Seeing the scene, the policeman realizes that this girl is a real live killer. There's not a bit of hesitation in her eyes. When the needles got closer to him, he shouted out loud that Kazuya was waiting for her. Hearing that, Naoko's attack hit the ground and she fell to the ground. She started crying while calling Kazuya's name. Now she has remembered all the moments she spent with Kazuya. While crying, Naoko said that she remembered now who likes her. The policeman saw Naoko crying really hard and wondered if she had sealed away her memories. He knows that Naoko has been through hell, so she must have forced herself to forget so she could stay sane. The policeman heard everything that happened to Naoko until now from Kazuya. And as he heard that, he thought that it's all too cruel. Then, Naoko talked, asking the policeman about where Kazuya was. The policeman answered that Kazuya is being treated in a mental hospital right now. Hearing that, Naoko grabbed the policeman's arm and asked him the name of the hospital. Before he could talk, Kazuya asked if it was the Hirayama clinic. At the hospital, Kazuya was sitting in his bed with a smile. He was thinking about Naoko, who's still alive. He learned from the policeman that a doctor was able to save Naoko, and now the Pumpkin Knight is taking down the bad guys. Thinking that, he laughed, saying that that sounds just like her. Pretty messed up as usual. He was really happy that Naoko was still alive. At that moment, the door of his room opened and some big guys entered. Kazuya noticed that these people are all wearing the staff uniforms, but he knows that there's no way these people work here. From behind, a lady came forward and told Kazuya that he's in big trouble now. She said that he should never let the policeman speak with him. She said that she came here as soon as she could. Kazuya was shocked to see her because this lady looks just like Naruto. At the same time, Naoko asked the policeman if the hospital he's talking about is affiliated with the Kuroki family. As he heard that, he realized that the chairman of that hospital is Sae Kuroki. He asked Naoko if Essie is Naruto's mother. Naoko answered yes and said that she knows because she was locked up there too. She said that they kept her restrained from midnight to night, forcing her to take all kinds of medicine. Her mind was so foggy. She could barely remember her name. She didn't even have enough energy to stand up, so she slept on a floor full of human waste every day. But one day, she came there to inspect the place. As soon as Naoko saw her face, it all made sense. The Kuroki family was the one that had left her to rot in there. Hearing the story, the police asked her if she's going to go up against the Kuroki family again, and also remind her that she barely survived last time. Naoko answered no and told the policeman that Kazuya is in trouble, so they have to save him. At that moment, the policeman was about to call someone to tell the whole situation, but before he could do that, Kazuya stabbed his hand and destroyed his phone. Then, without wasting a moment, she ran back alone. After a while, the doctor heard a motorcycle. He went down to check and saw that Naoko was going to take off with the motorcycle and a shotgun. The doctor asked her where she's going. The doctor guessed that Naoko is going out to purge the evil alone. He said that he's willing to forgive her if she goes back inside now. Naoko straight up answered that she doesn't want to. Hearing that, the doctor started shouting that Naoko belonged to him. He said that the god sent her to clean up all of the filth of the world. The doctor called her pure and said she's his angel of chaos. But Naoko disagreed with him. She said that she's not pure. She's the unbeatable Pumpkin Knight, appearing from the darkness of the night. And that's that. She said that she's now some doctor's plaything. As the doctor heard, he asked Naoko if she got her memory back. Naoko didn't answer and said that she's going to help Kazuya. If someone tries to stop her, she'll run over them. Saying that, she accelerated the motorcycle and hit the doctor, who saved her life, without hesitating. The doctor fell to the ground with an injured head as he barely saw Naoko leaving the mansion. After she left, the doctor realized that he was wrong trying to tame her. In his mind, he asked Naoko to go and take over the world. From pure white to pitch black. After Naoko left, the policeman arrived at the scene. He saw the doctor injured on the ground and couldn't believe that Naoko really left the one who saved her life to die. He realized that it was a big mistake showing her some sympathy. She isn't even human anymore. She's the Pumpkin Knight, the messenger from hell. No one can stop her. At the hospital, Issei and her men were beating Kazuya really badly. They completely destroyed Kazuya's face, but he still didn't cry. They are really confused wondering why Kazuya isn't crying. Right then, instead of crying, Kazuya started laughing and said, "How cute." He said that they'll all be dead soon. The Pumpkin Knight will kill every last one of them. Seeing that, they asked Issei about what's wrong with Kazuya. All they know is that she wants them to beat the crap out of him, but they don't know anything about him. So Issei told them that Kazuya was all over the news last year. She reveals that he set her husband's car on fire while he was trapped inside, and then he cut off her son's head and danced around with it. Hearing the story, the men were really shocked. They asked Issei that what this guy is doing here, he should be in a medical prison. They said that even if this guy killed her family, they can't get rid of him themselves. They asked Issei if she's the one who locked him up here. When Issei didn't answer, they decided to leave the place. But as the guy walked toward the door, she said, "Too late." Hearing that, the man got angry and asked her what she meant by that. He asks her to tell them what's going on and also reminds her that he's not a servant who blindly follows orders. Right then, they heard Kazuya's voice. As the guy who was closest to Kazuya looked toward him, Kazuya instantly jumped and bit the man's nose. Then, Kazuya uses his full force and plucks out the man's skin. Other men were really shocked and scared after seeing that, but she was amazed. Outside, an officer noticed that everything was normal and decided to close the front gates. At that moment, Naoko arrived there on her motorcycle. After getting closer to the officer, she jumped and kicked the guy on the face. His face got dragged on the floor by Naoko. Because of that, the man got really injured and Naoko looked at the hospital saying, "Kazuya, I'm here to pick you up." As she said that, the officer got up from the floor and called others to tell them that Naoko is here. While he was asking for backup, Naoko came closer to him and said, "Hey, I remember you." She remembered that this guy's the one that treated her the worst. He's the disgusting creep that would grope her when no one was looking. But he just happened to be off duty when Naoko went on a rampage. She said that he's the one she wanted to kill the most. Naoko is really happy to see him again. Right then, the guy got up holding his weapon and attacked Naoko. But Naoko was easily able to dodge all of his attacks. While evading all his attacks, she got closer to him and asked him if he didn't want to touch her again. As she said that, the guy put his foot on her foot and started applying force on it. He asked her if she liked that. He asked her if weight on an adult hurts. Then he was about to attack him saying he'll touch her to his fill after basing her head. Right at that moment, from Naoko's foot, a spiky weapon came out. With that, she pierced the guy's leg which caused him to be unable to stand up properly. Next, using the same weapon, she pierced the man's face and plucked out his skin. His skin was sent flying, including his eyes. Then, she pierced the guy's neck and killed him painfully. At that moment, the backup arrived to take down Naoko. A man in front called her idiot for coming all the way here alone. The man was about to run to attack Naoko, but the other guy stopped him. He asked him to not kill her, just stun her with the taser. He also reminds him that she got a gun. Right at that moment, the man's head blew up. Half of his head got almost completely severed from his body. Before everyone could react properly, another shot came and killed one more guy. Like this, the barrage of bullets didn't stop. One by one, the guards fell. In the end, only one guy left. Before he could talk, Naoko also killed him. On the rooftop of the hospital, SE and some doctors were seeing everything. While the other doctors were panicking, he was asking Naoko to shoot all of them in her mind. At that moment, they were about to call the police but she stopped them. She smiled and said that Naoko went through so much trouble to be here, so it would be stupid to call the cops now. Hearing that, the doctors got worried and asked SE if she didn't notice that Naoko had brought a gun. They are worried that at this rate, Naoko will kill all of them. Seeing the panic, SE revealed that Naoko has a weakness. She said that even if she's a vicious killer, she is still very vulnerable. Her mental state is incredibly fragile. She is sure that all of the reprogramming they did on Naoko is still in her subconscious. On the ground, Naoko noticed that she's almost out of bullets. She hit her head and said that she got a little carried away there. With that, she went toward the hospital while dancing and singing. She entered the hospital hoping to get back home with Kazuya, but she saw something else. She saw a girl tied up like a mental patient. Her half face is burned up and she's also beaten up. Naoko looked at her and was really shocked. Naoko called this woman, and she can't believe Ayumi is still alive. Immediately, Ayumi started shouting, asking Naoko to run away. She asked her to forget all about her and just run away. But Naoko couldn't run away, and because of that, she got surrounded by some men. They pinned her down to give her an injection. As they were giving her an injection, Ayumi was shouting, asking them to stop. At that moment, SE and another doctor were standing beside Ayumi. The doctor was happy because their plan worked nicely. Then, the doctor asked SE about Ayumi. Who is she? SE answered that Ayumi is Naoko's former clinical psychologist. She so rudely ignored the rehabilitation program she had made. Instead of treating Naoko like Ayumi was supposed to, she decided to influence her to be what she is now. By the time she noticed, it was already too late. Her treatment was totally ruined. And Ayumi was the one who helped Naoko escape from her grasp. He grabbed Ayumi's destroyed face and said that such an awful woman deserves an awful face like this. SE said to Ayumi that now it's her turn to go through the program. Hearing that, Ayumi asked SE to not mess with her. She shouted, "To hell with your rehabilitation program. This is just torture. You just want to brainwash patients into slaves. It's no better than a lobotomy." Ayumi said to SE that her whole program is bull crap. She believes that Naoko will never give in to SE. At that moment, she smiled and said, "But you enjoyed the program, didn't you?" SE said to Ayumi that she seemed like she was having lots of fun during the treatment. She asked Ayumi if she didn't enjoy it. She said to Ayumi that it must have been nice to have a loyal little slave that obeyed your every command. And that program is still alive deep inside Ayumi. He looked at Naoko and said that her free will is as good as gone now. As they were dragging Naoko away, Ayumi was crying while apologizing to her. Inside the room where Kazuya was sitting, men heard some gunshots. They don't know what's going on in this hospital anymore. It's definitely not a normal one. At this moment, they have pinned down Kazuya. And the guy whose nose was plucked out by Kazuya is crying in pain. At the same time, Naoko was being dragged away to a different place. After some walking, they reached a laboratory. Seeing the room, Naoko immediately recognized it. SEE saw Naoko's reaction and said that this is the corrections room where they do the reprogramming. She said she'll be reprogramming Naoko herself this time. Suddenly, Naoko started laughing like a maniac while saying, "Reprogram? That sounds super fun." This laugh of Naoko really scared SEE. Subscribe for the next part.